Hello, in this video I'm going to read through some comments and questions I've had on my channel about driving anxiety, and if you've got a question you'd like to ask me to be answered in a future video like this one, just leave it in the comments below and let me know if you'd like to see me do videos like this for driving lessons, driving tests, driving instructor training and those other things. But this one is all about the fear of driving. So I haven't rehearsed this, I haven't read these through in advance. I'm just going to go through them and read some of them out and just give as much help and advice as I can. So the first one here says, I've developed a fear of driving on the motorway. It's been years since I last drove there, despite having tried hypnosis and counselling. I'm still struggling to overcome this fear. I'm comfortable driving on regular roads, but the motorway seems daunting. Any advice or help would be greatly appreciated. So the two things really I want to say from this, you mentioned that you've tried hypnosis and counselling. Well, counselling won't help with driving anxiety because that's not going to do it. Why the hypnosis didn't work, I've covered in many videos, but quite simply, people have this thing that I've done hypnosis, and I'm not saying you're saying this, but whoever wrote this, I won't read your names out, but I'm not saying this to you directly, but people make these bold statements like, I've done hypnosis and it didn't work. Like, how many hypnotists have you worked with? One, two, even if you've worked with 100, there are tens of thousands in the world. So when people say I've done hypnosis, I took drive lessons and I couldn't pass, these vague, sweeping statements, don't let that put you off, because maybe you just didn't get the right one for you. But more importantly, you're saying something that a lot of people say, which is you're not comfortable on motorways. I've explained this in another video about the amygdala, which I'll link in the description. But quite simply what happens is, the reason, because people come to me and they often say, why can I drive at low speed but not at high speed? Well, it's simply because, as I always say, driving anxiety has nothing to do with driving. Your driving anxiety is not the problem here. When you go at high speed, what happens is, quite simply, your amygdala, imagine this is your amygdala, it's like a thing in your head, like a danger sensor. It's not the driving, it's just that when you're going at speed, your amygdala fires up the fight-flight mechanism. It's like, scream, scream, danger, danger, danger. And it's seeing danger that isn't there. So it's nothing to do with driving, it has to do with speed. Going to driving instructors, doing exposure therapy, not going to do anything because it's nothing to do with driving. Counselling, whatever, they'll just talk about driving, and I know this because I've worked with hundreds of people from all over the world, and it's never ever been anything to do with driving. So you see, your driving anxiety flares up when you go at speed, not because of the driving, it's just because you're in potential danger, as it were. So what you need to do is work out what's caused your fight or flight to kind of fire up, because most people, it's like this, it kind of sits in your head and it's just like, oh yeah, look at that, a little bit of danger, nothing to worry about. But if you've got anxiety, it's like this, it's firing up and you can't close. Sometimes all the junk from your life, all the problems you've had, get stuck in here. This is just a way of thinking about it, and you can't shut. So it's like danger, danger, you can't close down. So what you do in hypnosis is you take these things out. You go into your unconscious or subconscious mind and you remove all of this rubbish, junk, and then you can close. So you see, when you say you've done hypnosis, what was it? If it was the usual, relax, relax, you feel calm, you're going down a staircase, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, you're walking down the beach and you feel calm, that rubbish is not going to do anything. That's what many people have done. If you've talked about your driving, I won't go on for too long about this, but there is a way you can do it by talking about driving, but it's not how people think. That's for a whole separate course of videos I could do on that. But you can fix driving anxiety by talking about driving, but it's the way you do it that's so different. I can't explain all I know, but if you just talk about the driving to a counsellor, it won't work. There is something hypnosis, I keep saying hypnosis, hypnotists and hypnotherapists do differently. There's a video I did on that. You can watch me in a session. It shows you roughly what I'm talking about. But I'll do a video on this, but quite simply, when you talk to me about driving, I'm not talking back to you in the same way a counsellor or a CBTer would. Too long to explain now, but simply I talk to your unconscious. So that's for another time. But yeah, so don't give up on it, because you just probably have done the things I mentioned about relax, you feel calm. Imagine this, imagine you're in a house and imagine you walk into the kitchen and you meet a stranger, and when I click my fingers, the stranger's going to say something to you, and the therapist goes, and you're just sitting there thinking, what are you talking about? I'm not going to go on anymore for that. I could talk for ages about this. That shows how passionate I am about it. But yeah, so hope that's helped. Someone here made a comment on my Fix Anxiety Fast video that said about, you're right, I have a tendency to get nervous and talk or drive too fast. That won't fix the problem, but what I was saying in that video is, if you slow things down, the problem is, going back to what I just said, if you do it all quickly and it's all rushed and panicked, your amygdala's firing up like this, and it's all danger. And interestingly, a point I like to make, which I made in the video, I don't expect you to watch all these videos, but I made a point once about how when you see people driving erratically, and people say, oh, these people have got, no fear at all, they've actually got a lot of fear. People you see speeding down the road, they're actually very often terrified of driving without even knowing it. But that is for another video. That's where they're so swerving, it's all rushed and panicked and sudden. It's because they're anxious, not because they're brave and fearless. So somebody left a comment about the fear of driving downhill. Again, I'm not reading out people's names, but all these comments are public. This is on the fear of driving downhill video. One of the two I did on that. I have no fear of driving except for driving downhill, because I want to jerk the car to the left. It has to be a long stretch of hill or mountain with more than one lane on my side, like the Sierra Nevadas or the Altamont Pass, is it? I work with people all over the world, so most of the time I've got no idea where these places are. It doesn't matter. Again, I don't have to know this stuff. People sometimes do ask me, will it matter that you're in England and I'm in America, Canada, Australia? No, because it's nothing to do with where you are. It doesn't matter. I work with people who barely speak English. It doesn't matter, because it's not about where you are. It's not about driving. It's not about this stuff. The content is not important. It's the context that matters. So this person says, I have no problem driving down windy roads. That reminds me of something. On a short mountain, on a regular 2-lane or on a regular 2-lane road. Also, driving at night gives me anxiety, because the road turns into one on dimly lit roads. Yeah, driving at night, it's all the same sort of thing as I mentioned in the first question. It's this thing about your amygdala sees danger. We're all programmed to fear the dark. It's a natural thing. Animals, humans, we all have this fear of the dark. It's kept us safe for thousands of years. So if something has kept you safe for thousands of years, you're not just going to discard it. It's a bit like if you get a cat and your cat starts clawing at the sofa or whatever. This is what we call a sofa in the UK, couch in America, and they're scratching it. You're not going to change that by saying, stop it, that's been programmed into cats for years. Maybe not this one because it's not a real cat, but they are programmed to mark the territory and scratch, and it's what they do. You're not going to change that within a few decades of, wanting to change it because it's not good for your furniture. So the night time is a fear, natural fear you have, but if you're finding it too extreme, it means you're overreacting to the fear. It's the same stuff. So a lot of this just comes down to most driving anxiety, which has nothing to do with driving at all. It's just you've had stuff in your mind, in your life that's built up. It's all got stuck in here, and your panic sensor can't close down. It's stuck and it's trapped open. So we just take all the rubbish out in hypnosis. That's the only way you'll get to it, and it calms down. So when people are saying, be calm, relax, you feel so calm, they're kind of on the right track, but that's not how you do it, because you need to address what's actually stuck in here. So if you pull out your fear, then your problem will go. And people often say, somebody said this to me the other day, I'll see if I can find the email, because somebody emailed me to say they were going to work with me. We did a consultation, and here it is. They didn't work with me because I said to them, go and do this hypnosis track of mine first. I won't read it all out because it's made like a private email, but he says, it's been a while since I talked to you. He's been driving a lot, and he drove over 2,000 miles with no anxiety. And that's without even working with me one-to-one. That's just working on my my tracks, my hypnosis tracks online. So if you get that much help from my free tracks, think of how good it will be if you were with me. That's what I say to people. They go on to say they believe their issues have significantly reduced due to watching my videos. There's nothing else they could think of that could explain the change. So yeah, going back to the comments, but that just proves the point that, I can't remember what the point was I was saying, about how it's not really about relax, relax, relax. That video they're mentioning in particular, which is called Hypnosis for Driving Anxiety, it kind of works in a way where I'm not telling you to relax. I haven't got time to explain all this. This video will be too long. But it's not about relax, relax, relax. It's not that I hate therapists who do that. What I hate is the fact they're getting it wrong and people are not getting results. So, yes, you have got to relax, but you don't relax by saying, relax, 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 you feel relaxed, you feel calm. The relaxation comes after. So when people say hypnosis is about relaxation, no, it's not. This example I've written on my website. Imagine when you break a plank of wood, you jump in the air, you land on a plank of wood and you break it. Does that mean that if you just break a plank of wood some other way, it's going to make you jump? So if I've got a bit of wood now and broke it, does that make me jump in the air? No, because you see, hypnosis leads to relaxation. Relaxation does not lead to hypnosis. Just because A leads to B doesn't mean B leads to A. It's like a one-way road. Yes, you can go along the one-way road. You can't come back the other way. So, yeah, just to explain that in the night time, it's about your amygdala firing off. Just going through some more. Some of these just general comments like, thanks for making the video, whatever. I appreciate all those, but I'm just going to look for ones that would help other people. This was a comment. The biggest fear of driving a manual transmission is looking like a clown in front of everyone. Now, this is a big reason people have anxiety, because many people I work with, again, it's nothing to do with driving, this proves the point, they don't want to look like a clown. I expect that's what I mean. They've just put 4 emojis, which I think is a clown. I can't zoom in on the screen, but yeah. People fear rejection is the best way to put it. So, very quick story. Many years ago, humans were hunted by other animals. So not dinosaurs, as some people say, because interesting fact, did you know humans and dinosaurs never existed at the same time? So every time you see these things about cavemen fighting dinosaurs, they never existed at the same time, as far as we know. But anyway, people used to live in communities. They lived together in like cities with big walls around them, and it was safe and we were protected. And you did not want to be thrown out of that city. You did not want to be the outcast, because if you were thrown out of the city, you'd be killed by wild animals. You'd have no food. You'd have no one to live with, and you wouldn't survive. So we all have a natural fear. This is where it's supposed to come from, where we fear rejection because rejection means death. Now, of course it doesn't, because we live in a modern world where there are more people than ever living on their own. But that's where it comes from, a natural instinct of not wanting to stand out from the crowd, not wanting to be the odd one out. How different nowadays, where a lot of people take great delight being the odd one out, making YouTube videos where they're weird or different or whatever you want to call it to everyone else. And people now admire people who do that. How funny we've got, like, so different. So that's why you've got this fear of being like a clown in front of people. You fear rejection, whether you know it or not. That's what it comes down to. I could make a whole video on that, because I've mentioned in other videos about how I like being on my own. There is a theory that the reason people like me, it's only a theory, I don't know if I believe it, the reason some people like me like being on our own is because our ancestors were thrown out of these cities. We went into the wild, and we are the ones that survived. So we believe that you're better off alone. Thinking of the song by Alice DJ, Better Off Alone. We are like the people who saw that it's better to not be stuck in these communities. And is this true? Is a load of rubbish? That's just a theory. That's one of the theories people come up with. I'll do one more, but it's getting quite long. Or somebody says, listen to my hypnosis track for driving test nerves, and listen to it an hour before the test, and passed. So there you go. One more of these. This one is this is way too long to read through, so it's about I'm going to read through it briefly. It's not that I don't care about it, it's a very long one. I know exactly what triggered my driving anxiety. I was on the highway, 5 a.m, on my way to work, dark, raining really hard. Oh, I remember this one, yeah. They're saying that the windscreen wipers stopped working and they couldn't see a thing. That's not how they put it. Could not see, for all their word. Fearing for my life because it was dark. So they're simply saying they were driving one day, the wipers stopped working and they got scared. This can be where, and they're in Germany, and here you go, just what I was saying. They were thinking to themselves, will others think I'm stupid for the way I've stopped on this road? Will other drivers think, it's bad the way I've parked? Is anybody watching me, judging me? Interesting, this and that. I don't know how to get out of here. Will someone hit my car, whatever. They're talking about parking spaces. So sometimes this can happen where what happens is when you're driving, and I've been in a situation similar to this myself, but I won't talk about it, otherwise this video will be 10 hours long. When you're driving, you encounter something scary, like windscreen wipers stop working in heavy rain. Because of that, you panic. It fires up other things in your head, like from the past. And then, because you experience those things when you're driving, you link driving to those things. So your driving becomes a trigger. So whenever you drive, you've linked the action of driving to a time you were 5 and you fell off your bike as a kid and you were screaming because you broke your leg or whatever. That's how it can happen. And you've probably seen this with hypnosis, where you get these stage shows where the hypnotist will get something like a kitten, and I'll say to somebody, every time you touch this kitten, you forget how to count to 10. And I'll say to them, can you count to 10? Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hold the kitten. Can you count to 10? 4, 7, 1, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's quite fascinating how you can make a trigger and an anchor, and that's what this person's done without knowing. They have anchored something from the past to driving. So when you now drive, you're triggering those old thoughts. That's a very brief way of explaining it, but that's what I do. And they say at the end, I need help. Well, if you need help, you know what to do. You can contact me through my website, firstdrive.com. So I hope that's helped. And if you've got a question about driving anxiety, it is already the same thing, really. I mean, the way to answer any question is you just need to, I know this sounds like a sales pitch, but you just need to do hypnotherapy. You see a good hypnotherapist, you will pull out the stuff in your amygdala. If it is that, 'cause it isn't always this, there can be other things. But that's the most common one. We work out what it is, we change it, and it goes. So you can do it for free. I've got, I think it's 13 videos on a page on the site. I'll link to in the description. Hope I remember to put all these links in. But there's 13 videos. They're not all about driving. I think about 10 or 11 about driving. A couple of others are just general ones I did. But there is a page of free hypnotherapy on my website. And there's also, what is there now, 750 odd videos on my channel. There were nearly 900, 800. But I've deleted some over the years, whatever. So hundreds of free videos, pages on my website. There are about 10 to 20 pages at least, which I've written on different topics of driving anxiety. There's tons of free help. If that doesn't work, or you just want to work with me anyway, contact me through firstdrive.com. There's a page on there. And if I could stop the hiccups, I was getting hiccups. If I could stop the hiccups, then yeah. There's another one here. I'd like to read more of these, but I just haven't got time in this video. It's going to be about, I don't know how long is this going to be, about 20, 25 minutes or so. So I hope that's helped you. And if you want to work with me, contact me through my website, firstdrive.com. Thanks for watching. And as always, I'll see you again soon for more videos.